Hello. This brief demo shows an example of using mashups in the context of pipeline data analysis. My name is Charles and I just took responsibility of a new sales department in our organization. I need to get a quick understanding of the pipeline. How much do we have in the pipe? What's the structure of the pipeline? What are the top performance? And what can we do to improve the numbers? I just got an Excel download of our pipeline data out of our operational system. It's pretty rudimentary data, but it has enough details that I can start doing pretty interesting analysis. It has opportunity details with revenue, product name, customer name, stage, but it also has expected closing date and probability. That should help me understand the structure of the pipeline. So let's load this as a mashup file into BICS, and let's use the Visual Analyzer to do some analysis with it. Let me upload the file here. Let me select it. And BICS will automatically recognize columns and assign them as matrices or attributes. Like for opportunity number here, which let's override this as a count aggregation so we can count opportunities. Same for stage number here. Let's consider this as an average, and probability shouldn't be a sum, it should be an average. Everything else we can pretty much leave as default. It's already been assigned properly by the loading process. So my file got loaded and I can start right away doing some discovery and analysis with it. So let us look at the pipeline revenue by months. That's the trending information, the first one I want to have a glance at. So let me go ahead and change this to a vertical bar for a better perspective. So I can see here our May, June, July, August pipeline shape, and that makes sense because we have a 2-month sales cycle, so we can't see very far ahead. So we seem to have a pretty solid month of June here with over 20 million revenue, but we're not doing so well in May. Could there be any opportunities from June that I may anticipate into May? Let me look at that. For this, I need to break down the pipeline by sales stage and see its structure. Let me drag the objects from the mashup list and create a new view. And here we go. So this is showing me the 5 stages that we have in our system from lead to proposal, and I can see that it's a pretty balanced distribution here. We have pretty much comparable amounts at each stage. I want to show this as a pie chart instead to get a quicker view at the relative percentages. Let me drag a stage as a color as well. So I can see that we have about 35% of advanced stages, either proposal or demo, and we have about 25% of lead stage, and the remaining part are the other stages. Now, let's look at the same detail over the trended chart. So we will see if anything in June is ready to close. And so let me make stage as a trellis in this chart, and I can see the structure of our pipeline by stage. Now let me bring a color here so to make it more visible. Here we go. So the light color here shows us the lead stage. So we have a distribution that is coming towards June, July, August, whereas the final proposal state are much closer, and we do have about 4 million here in June at the proposal state already. So could we push any of these opportunities into May? So that's an interesting information for me, and I need to get into the details of these opportunities. But before I do this, let me take a quick look at another aspect here, which is my top performers. I want to get a sense of how the pipeline splits between my team members. So I just dragged a scatter of my account reps for their revenue pipeline and the number of opportunities. As a matter of fact, let me swap opportunities as y-axis and revenue as x-axis. Okay, right there I can already see that I have 2 outliers. Lisa, who's outperforming everyone with about 11 million pipeline, and Helena, who's lagging behind everyone with about 4 million pipeline. And then in the middle is the bulk of everyone else with pretty comparable outputs. So this is telling me a lot already. But let us dig one step further here and take a look at the pipeline structure by months, by employee. That should reveal the quality of each pipeline. So I'm turning on the scatter plot to act as a master for all the other reports. And when I select Lisa, I can see the other charts on the page updating with just her data. And in her case, it's very interesting because she has way less pipeline at the proposal stage than the rest of the group. She's about 5%. Her pipe volume is large, but it's spread all over stages and months, and eventually very little makes it up to the proposal stage. So Helena, on the other hand, has way lower pipeline, but a pretty well-balanced structure. The closer I look into expected closing time, the higher the stages, which means that she is diligent in carrying her opportunities through, and her pipeline percent structure is very different than Lisa. So, at first glance, Lisa seemed way ahead of Helena in terms of performance, but looking into the details, the quality of Helena's pipeline is way better than the one of Lisa. So I suspect this should also become very visible if I drag the probability to close that we have for every opportunity. So let me drag this into the scatter. There's quite a flip. The average probability for Helena is pretty much in line with the rest of the group, but Lisa is doing very bad on average. She is below 40% probability. That actually brings up a good point. I should not just look at revenue here for measuring pipeline, but instead I should weight this by the probability of closing. So I need a calculation. I need the multiplication of revenue by probability for each opportunity, and I need to aggregate this in my chart. So with Visual Analyzer, I can easily add custom calculations to my reports here. So for instance, in this case, let me pick probability and apply multiplied by revenue divided by 100, and let me call this expected revenue. Let's go ahead and drag this into the chart now. Let me expand my calculations. Here's the object. And let's drag this along with revenue. So the chart will show us both revenue and expected revenue. Let me make this vertical. So the green bar is the revenue and the brown one is the expected probable revenue. So I can visibly see the difference now. So the value that we have at the proposal stage for May is now 4.5 million. And the upside that we identified in June goes down from 4 to 3 million. Let's read into the details for this. Let me remove revenue and focus only on expected revenue. And also let's bring probability here as a color, just so that as we drill into the details, we keep visibility on the average probability. Visual Analyzer allows me to drill into the details of any dimension, even in a mashup file with no hierarchy. So let me click here. Let's drill into what we have. We want the details of product categories here for these opportunities. Let me select product categories. The chart filters for June only, and here's a breakdown of product, and the bulk of it is green servers, and that's perfect because that's a product we want to promote in May. So we probably can do something about these June opportunities here. But let me fix something here on the chart and show the values of each block. All right, so we have about 1.6 million worth of opportunities at the closing stage in June. So let me keep just June here. And now let's bring across some customer objects so we can see the detail of the names here. So let me select customer, revenue, a number of opportunities, and let's select, say, a tree map view, for instance. Okay, let's just filter only the ones that are at stage proposal. Let me get rid of this chart. I don't need it anymore. And so here's our tree map. So the big blocks here are indicating customers who have opportunities about to close, scheduled for June, that we could probably target with an action to pull this into May. So that's pretty valuable information for me, and I can take immediate action on this now.